Hi, I'm Kimberly, Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with my series entitled Rhythm Exercises. In these exercises we study blues rhythmic phrasing. We go back and forth from lead guitar to rhythm guitar, and we use the exact same rhythm for each two-bar phrase. First, I'll perform rhythm exercise in the key of A, number 10, and then I'll break it down for you. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Let's break down rhythm exercise in the key of A, number 10. I have a 12-bar blues that I divided into 6 two-bar phrases. Each two-bar phrase will use the exact same rhythm. The rhythm is triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The lead guitar will go over the first bar and into the first eighth note of the second bar. So lead guitar for triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1, and then we'll enter into the rhythm guitar pattern in the second bar. The rhythm guitar normally would sound like this if it were a full bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's what's commonly called the Jimmy Reed or Chuck Berry blues pattern. But because we've extended our lead guitar into the first eighth note of the rhythm guitar pattern, we have to cut or chop that first eighth note. So we'll play lead guitar over triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and enter the rhythm guitar like that. Triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So each two-bar phrase will use that exact rhythm. Now that we've talked about the rhythm, let's look at the scales that we'll be using in this example. For this exercise, we'll be using the A minor and A major pentatonic scales. We'll be fingering them right around the 5th fret. And for those of you who know Cage, this is what we call the E pattern because the A chord in this area of the neck looks like an E chord shape. So they fit over this octave pattern, which sits within this chord shape. So the E pattern minor pentatonic scale looks like this. So that's E form of the A minor pentatonic scale. Now for the E form of the A major pentatonic scale. So again, we'll be blending both the A major and minor pentatonic scales. Now that we've looked at scales and rhythm, let's go on to part 1. Here's part 1. Triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to start out with about a quarter-ish bend. So not quite a full half step, but we're hinting at the major third of this A chord. The major third of an A chord is C sharp, which is here. And so we're kind of bending toward that from the minor pentatonic. And then we're coming back to the root A, and then into the major pentatonic here. Triplet 2 and here's 3 N. So that's minor pentatonic, and then a bend release on the 3rd string, and then we're going to end on the root A. And then we go into the blues pattern comping 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. part 2. Triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we're going to start off with a slide, an approach slide, about a half-ish step. So there's my first triplet, and this triplet consists of 2 chord tones. It's actually a power chord in A5, but it's played upside down. So here's the root, and here's the 5th. Now, as we've talked about before in other videos, I like to start or end, or both, start and end chord on chord tones. So these notes are part of my A. And then I'm going to use the second and 3rd strings here at the 7th fret. And now actually this is kind of like part of a D chord really, even though you can kind of look at it as part of the major and minor pentatonic together. Creates some suspended tension just to make it sound like it needs to resolve a bit back into A. And then I'm going back to chord tones of A here. So I'm using a partial bar across strings 2 and 3, and I'm hammering on to the C sharp here, which is in my major pentatonics, the major 3rd. So these 2 notes together are the 3rd and the 5th of A. So here's sort of the suspended tension, and then here's the resolution. And so putting that together for the first couple of beats, here's the first beat, triplet, and then 2 and then I'm going to come down the major pentatonic scale, 3 and then back up the major pentatonic scale for the last triplet, and then ending on a hammer-on into the major 3rd of A at C sharp. And then to the comping, and 2 and 3 and 4 and... On to part 3. Triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So this idea is over the D7 chord, or the 4 chord in our 12-bar blues. And we're going to start out by outlining the 4 chord D7. So these 2 notes are the 3rd and 5th respectively of a D7 chord. Those are in D7. So we're going to use those to outline the D7th harmony. I'm going to slide in with an approach about a half step away to the F sharp here. So that's my first triplet, and then I'm going to come up to the note C, which is in my minor pentatonic, but it's also in a D7 chord, the 7. So I'm coming down from the 7, kind of mixing the pentatonics here. So I have 2 and 3 and, so I'm coming down. That's 2 and 3 and then my last triplet, I'm doing a hammer-on from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. So that's my triplet on beat 4, triplet, and then I'm ending on that note C again, which is again the flatted 7 of a D7. So I'm using that chord tone to end the phrase, and then I go into the rhythm guitar for D7 or a D chord. So the D blues pattern would be here. Let's put that together. Here's part 4. Triplet 2 and 3 and triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we're starting off on chord tones of A. We have the 3rd and we have the 5th of A. And so you can see there's an A chord. Those 2 notes are in the chord. So we're using them to make a triplet, and then we're coming down to the minor 3rd, 2, and that's the major 2nd, and then we have 3, and so this is the 5th and the root, so that's our upside down power chord. triplet, 2 and 3, and then the last triplet's major pentatonic. So it's triplet, and then we're going to end on the root A here. And then we're back to our A comping, our A blues pattern, and 2 and 3 and 4, and let's put that together. Here's part 5. Triplet, 2 and 3 and triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So part 5 is over the 5 chord, which is the E or E7th chord, and we're starting on the note B. Now this note is in the major pentatonic scale, but it's also in an E chord, like if you imagine E or E7, that note right there, the 5th. So this note B helps outline the chord change. So we're starting on the B, and so we come down the scale, or we come down the major pentatonic scale, and then we're using the minor pentatonic note here. So triplet, and then this is beat 2, and this is the and of 2. Both notes are E though, because here's a fingered E, and I'm bending to E there. So triplet, 2 and then I'm going back up the way I came. So this is 3 and minor pentatonic, and then I'm coming down from the note A, triplet, that's minor pentatonic as well, and then bending to E, which is the root of my chord. Let's put that together. So notice there that we moved our accompaniment pattern over to E to accommodate the 5 chord E or E7. So same pattern as before, just moved over to the 7th fret. Now for part 6. Here's part 6, the last phrase. Triplet, 2 and 3 and triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're starting this first triplet on the note E, which is the 5th of my A chord. So starting on a chord tone, triplet, then I'm bending this C toward the C sharp, and then coming back to the root. So that's 2 and then 3 and is a ring finger roll across the major pentatonic notes. 3 and triplet, 2 and 3 and in the last triplet starts on the root A, triplet, this is major pentatonic, and then we end on the root A. And then we're back into our accompaniment on the A blues pattern, and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's put that together. That's it for rhythm exercise in the key of A number 10. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.